I wasn't supposed to break. People like me are not allowed to collapse. Not in public, not under lights, not in front of cameras. I built an entire life to make sure of that. Power was my armor. Control was my shield. Every decision I made reinforced the story that I was unshakable. But when I looked up during that press conference and saw Atlas 3, I threw the glass dome above us. Something inside me cracked open with a sound no microphone could capture. My hand tightened around the podium. I felt the tremor in my wrist first, then in my breath. The silence in the room grew dense and heavy, like everyone was leaning forward at once. They thought I had forgotten my words. They thought it was stress. But stress has edges. This was different. This was recognition. The comet hung above us, elongated and glowing with those slow pulses of teal and orange. Like something breathing, not drifting. When the moment my eyes locked on it, I knew I had seen that light before. It wasn't a memory from my past. It was a memory from somewhere I haven't reached yet. I didn't understand it, but the feeling was clear. This wasn't the first time my soul had touched that light. Something inside me responded before I could think. Like a chord struck on an instrument I didn't know I was carrying. I felt warmth in my chest, not comfort, but permission. Like the comet was saying, you don't have to hold yourself together anymore. Later that night, after I canceled the rest of the speech, I found myself alone on the rooftop. The cold air bit sharply against my skin, but the warmth in my chest didn't leave. Atlas 3, I was still there, hovering above the city's skyline. Its glow was steady, patient, unhurried. I realized I was breathing differently, slower, deeper, as if my body had finally remembered how to rest. I've spent years believing love was a liability. Every relationship felt like an opening for loss. Every connection felt like a risk I could not afford. So I built walls, fortresses, entire empires designed to keep people at a distance. They called it ambition, praised it, rewarded it, envied it. But it was fear. All of it. It's the fear of being known and still being left behind. Standing there under the comet's glow, I felt the weight of that truth. The success, the fame, the power, none of it ever protected me. It only isolated me. I didn't feel proud of what I built. I felt tired. I felt like someone who had been holding his breath for decades without realizing it, and the comet's light told me to exhale. Then something else happened. Not a memory. A vision. Quick, but vivid. Like a window opened inside my mind. A city where people weren't afraid of each other. Where conversations were gentle. Where belonging wasn't earned. Where love wasn't rationed like something fragile. Where no one was performing strength to avoid being seen as weak. A world where we remembered how to live with open hearts. I blinked, and the vision dissolved, but the feeling remained. It wasn't fantasy. It felt like a future waiting for us, future we were always meant to grow into. I didn't speak. I didn't move. I just stood there, breathing slowly, letting the realization settle. I am not alone. I have never been alone. I was just terrified of being loved because love means letting yourself be changed. Just as I finally exhaled, letting the truth soften something inside me, my phone buzzed in my pocket. Not a call, not a message, just the screen lighting up with a notification I didn't recognize. A white icon with no name. I stared at it, my breath caught halfway in my chest. The rooftop wind went still, and the phone buzzed again. I didn't open the notification at first. I just stood there on the rooftop, the wind moving around me in small, restless currents. As if the air was waiting for my response, the screen glowed in my hand, a white icon with no name, no sender, no origin. My thumb hovered over it. I felt the same warmth in my chest that I had felt under the comet's light, steady and unafraid. When I finally tapped it, the screen didn't open an app. It opened the camera, but not facing outward, facing me. The phone showed my face, the version of me from the press conference earlier that evening. Shoulders high, jaw tight, eyes trying to hold an entire world together. The video played silently. I watched myself breaking in slow motion. Not dramatic, not messy, just honest. My face falling soft, my defenses dissolving. The exact second I stopped pretending. It wasn't a warning, it was a mirror. I locked the phone and slid it into my pocket. The message was already received. Stop running from what is true. The rooftop suddenly felt too open, too exposed. I needed walls, floors, a ceiling, something familiar enough to hold the weight of what was happening. So I walked to the stairwell door and went inside. The stairwell was cold and quiet, lit by thin strips of lead along the edges. My footsteps echoed softly as I descended, each step slow, deliberate. The warmth in my chest stayed with me, steady like a second heartbeat. When I reached my floor, the hallway stretched out in its usual polished stillness. Glass walls, marble floors, everything curated to look untouchable. A world built to prove nothing was ever out of control. I walked forward. My footsteps were gentle, measured. Then I heard another set of footsteps, matching mine. I paused. They paused. I took one step. The echo followed, slightly delayed, not my sound, but something moving with me. I didn't feel fear, felt companionship, steady, patient, familiar. Not someone following me, something catching up to me. I continued walking, slower now. The hallway reflected the city through the glass end wall. And above it, Atlas 3, I still hovered, pulsing in slow waves of teal and orange light, as if breathing with me. The warmth in my chest softened into something else, not relief, but recognition. Then the vision came. Not from memory, not imagination. A future. Small kitchen lit by morning sun. Warm wood. Soft laughter. Someone sitting across from me. I couldn't see their face, but I felt peace in their presence. Not performance, just quiet love, like breathing. The vision faded gently, leaving its warmth inside me. I placed my hand on the cool glass and let myself feel everything I had spent years resisting. Connection, belonging, the possibility of being known. Just then my phone buzzed again, the same white icon. This time it didn't open the camera. It opened a location. No text. No message. It's just a single pin. Home. Not the penthouse. Not the estate outside the city. A place I haven't gone yet, but somehow I knew it was mine. I didn't go back inside my penthouse. I didn't pour a drink, or sit down, or try to think my way through what was happening. I just stood there in the hallway, watching the location pin glowing on my phone screen. The warmth in my chest wasn't fading. It felt steady, grounded, like something was guiding me without speaking. The pin wasn't far. Actually, it was close. It's just across the river. A neighborhood I'd driven past 1,000 times, but never really looked at. Not the kind of place where people schedule private reservations or valet service. It's the kind of place where lights are warm, where windows are open, where laughter escapes without being controlled. I walked past the elevator and took the stairs down, one flight at a time. Slow. Present. Not running. Not hiding. Just moving. When I reached the street, the city felt different. It's not quieter, just less demanding. The air was cool. The sidewalks were still damp from a late sprinkling of rain. Everything reflected the comet's glow in faint teal and orange reflections. Cars stopped at lights. People walked in coats. Life continued as if nothing had changed. But something had changed. Inside me. I started walking toward the river. I didn't rush. I didn't hesitate. My body knew where it was going before my mind understood. And with each step, I felt more like myself, not the version of me that built an empire. Not the version who curated every expression, every word, every movement. The me before fear became my organizing principle. I crossed the bridge. The water below was dark, but the comet reflected across it, stretched, fluid, alive. When I reached the neighborhood, I recognized something I had never allowed myself to see before. The simplicity of ordinary life. A dog sleeping on someone's porch. A child's bike leaning against a fence. A woman closing her curtains for the night. Warmth, familiarity, softness. My chest tightened, but not with fear, with longing. The location pin led to a small house on a quiet street. Light in one window, soft, warm glow, the color of a room where someone is present, not escaping. I didn't know who lived there, but I knew why I was there. Love is not a lesson. It's a place you return to. I stood outside the gate, breathing slowly. My hands didn't shake. My heart didn't race. There was no dramatic realization, no awakening flash, just peace. A peace that felt like remembering something I had always known but had buried under decades of armor. I didn't knock. I didn't enter. I just let myself feel the desire to, and let that be enough for tonight. Because love doesn't demand arrival. Love begins with permission to move closer. I stepped back from the gate. The comet pulsed above me, steady and patient, like it already knew I'd come back. As I turned to leave, my phone buzzed once more. Same icon. Same silent presence. But this time, the notification didn't open a camera or a map. It's just a single line of text. You are ready. The wind moved softly around me. I exhaled for the first time in years.